customer is actually not your client, but your candidate. You only get to place the job if you've got the right candidate. They're the number one customer in this whole equation.
All right. Welcome to Rech Tech Talk, a weekly chat with myself and one of the many great recruitment tech platforms out there. This week we have Justin from Recruiter Insider, a product that I like to refer to as the manager keeping me on track. So Justin, I'll get you to begin with the core problem that your product was trying to solve.
So we're your little big brother then, are we?
Yeah, mate, I always say,
drew on your shoulder.
Keep me accountable. Have you called that person now, which is good.
Yeah, so the key problem that we're trying to solve, look, this business eventuated 4.5 years ago. And the irony was on the back of a really crappy call I actually got from, wait for it, a recruiter.
Sure, there's a few of them out there.
I can't remember who she was or who she worked for. But it was such a bad call that it led me to have a look at the candidate experience that she provided me and the skills associated with the call and the content that she actually delivered to me.
Yeah, nice.
And wanting to find a way to improve the candidate experience and the consultant skills at the same time. And what I spent the next 16 months, quite literally after that phone call, was researching how agencies went about collecting feedback from candidates and measuring the candidate experience. And it was really interesting. This is back 4.5 years ago, because candidate experience, as it is still today, was the number one topic.
Yeah. I'd say, would you agree that since kind of COVID, it's become much more of a talking point? I see everything posted. I see Greg Savage posting constant candidate experience. Would you say that's developed it, or that's just kind of the natural curve that it's taken?
I don't think it's reached its kind of crescendo yet. I don't think.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
Because what we're now seeing is we're in a candidate short market.
Yeah.
So if you're providing a really poor experience in the candidate short market, how long do you think you're going to hold on to the candidate for? So whichever way the market is leaning, whether it's job rich or candidate rich or poor or what have you, this is always going to be something that's going to be right near the top of the top three elements that you need to be focusing on.
Definitely.
Your key customer is actually not your client, but your candidate.
I agree.
You only get to place the job if you've got the right candidate. They're the number one customer in this whole equation.
Yeah.
Because the competition, be it other agencies or the employers direct, are actually also competing for those candidates as well.
Yeah.
The name of the game is actually to win candidates, not to win clients. So when I looked at this 4.5 years ago to understand how agencies were trying to solve this problem of understanding the candidate experience they were delivering, how do I say this politely?
This will be good.
It was laughable.
Yeah,
laughable.
So very polite for you. I thought I might have to edit out of this.
So what I found everyone was doing was they were manipulating their data. They were manipulating the feedback they were collecting. And they were asking people that they place into jobs what they thought of them. How good of a candidate experience did we provide you? And well, of course, the feedback was all positive. You got them a job.
I remember that's how you actually got me. That's how you got me onto the platform, because I'm like, I've got it. Like I get testimonials. It's just like, what about the people you don't place and all of them? I'm like, oh yeah, they're close. Yeah.
I use an analogy often that asking people who you place into a job, the experience you provided, it's kind of like asking your husband or wife on your wedding night whether they love you or not. If you get any other answer other than yes, not only have you just wasted your whole entire day,
money,
but now the rest of your life's probably ruined as well.
True.
So you're then going to have to go replace your wife or your husband pretty quickly. You're going to want to do that in the next 6 months and annul your marriage. It's kind of the same thing with the rebate period of a candidate accepting a job and going, no, I didn't have a great experience. So looking at that and given the background that I've got in recruitment, I decided that this had to be measured through the whole entire hiring process. Definitely. So very specific points of the process where we can actually identify, right, here's where the candidate experience is going wrong with this particular consultant at this stage of the process, and here's specifically what in that process they're not quite nailing. So that enables us to look at it from that experience perspective, but also from that skills perspective as well. And the longest answer in the world to your question, what problem are we solving? That's it.
Nice. That was a very long answer, but very relevant, and it makes a lot more sense. Cool. So kind of what I want to dive into is a product run through. So the core features, so that, you know, people can see how you track this, the data that you use, and really kind of show how it would improve their service to their clients. So I'll just quickly, like we discussed, make you host. There we are. Change host. Okay. And now you can pop up and give us a bit of a product walkthrough of some of those features that I know you're interested in showing.
Sure. So I'm going to, as you can see on the left-hand side, there's a whole bunch that this platform does.
Yeah.
Because of the specific nature of what we do, we can slice and dice this data in many different ways, but I probably want to focus on 4 key elements of the platform.
Lovely.
And as I mentioned to you earlier, we focus on the entirety of the hiring process. So from when that very first application comes into the platform, this is actually a new feature we released not for a month ago, responded. So what this has a look at is every application coming into your ATS, be it job ad or a bullhorn, and soon to be a third one that we're just kicking off at the moment.
Oh, is that a sneaky announcement?
That's exclusive for you, John.
Yeah.
So this has a look at your effectiveness of responding to every application based on the actions you're taking within your ATS. So over a time frame that we can actually customize for you, it shows you how well your consultants are actually engaging with your candidates, telling them they've been successful or bringing them through and forward in the process. But we also collect some application insight data from that candidate who's applying to the job at the same time. That gives you a view of the candidate market that you're attracting to your jobs that you're advertising. So that's information you can use internally to actually improve your attraction methodologies, but also share that information with your clients at the same time to give them a view of the insights to the candidate market as well.
Nice.
Based on that,
how do you track that data? I think everyone would like to know.
How do we track this data? By everything that you do in your ATS.
Nice.
Yep. So it's all automated.
Nice. So it just integrates with whatever ATS you're using, and then the status of whatever goes through updates this.
Correct. So
your consultants can't manipulate their data, is what I'm asking.
Good luck to them.
Lovely. Yeah.
When I design this, I'm one of those people that has a brain that will go, well, it's not how the rule works, it's how you break. Not how the I can't remember the analogy I used. Not how the no, forget it. I can't remember it. No, I designed this so that if I can break it, fix it.
Recruiter proof. Love it.
So I'm a recruiter from 20 odd years ago. So if I can find a way to beat the system, someone else invariably will. And I like winning like nothing else. So if I can work out how to manipulate it, and yes, there's 1 or 2 ways that you could, if you're really clever. I'm probably the only one who knows it because I designed it.
Yeah, nice.
There's still a couple of holes, but you need to know this platform backwards, inside and out to work that out. So good luck. You can't do it. And we will see it straight away now, mind you. One of the other features that I want to focus on, so we collect feedback at multiple points through the process with some very specific questions at that point in time. But what we also do out of the back of that is at each stage of the process, we ask the candidate to provide a testimonial. One of the things I saw agencies were doing back 4.5 years ago when I was researching this was, because you're only asking people that you place, you're only getting testimonials from people that you place.
Yeah.
That's all good and well because they're already happy, right? But it's a 50th of the people that you engage with. And that doesn't mean you can't be providing a great experience to the people at the front of the process.
Definitely.
Are so happy with what you've engaged with them with and shared information that they can't provide you with some really good marketing content as well.
Definitely.
So at each stage we ask for a testimonial, and 46% or something around that mark of testimonials actually come through at the first stage of the process.
Yeah, I get a lot after that kind of first call.
Which effectively all you've done with the candidate at that point is told them about the job and submitted them to the client. That's it.
Especially when
of quality. So it's funny because when I was researching this, I actually spoke to 3,500 candidates as to what they wanted through the process. That's how we defined what we do. when we
That's
measure
crazy.
great experience. Yeah, I should have set up an agency.
Yeah, definitely.
Would have funded the business for the next 10 years. But what we got out of that was that although that the candidate doesn't have any impact on the outcome at this stage of the process, they actually think by providing a testimonial, it's going to help them in some way.
I actually get that quite a bit. I get some like really in-depth testimonials after my first stage video interview. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, you're definitely doing this because you think it's going to, which is nice. You get some, but especially in the age where content's king, I've seen, a lot of people who use your product on LinkedIn with constant testimonials. And if you can't think of good content, which often most of us can't, it is just great, easy content. It's trustworthy because it's come from your source, not made up. And it's a good starting place.
Have a problem with a lack of testimonial content. Many of our clients are getting 20, 25 testimonials a week. The challenge they've got is actually almost a problem for them. It's like, oh my God, which one do we actually use this week?
Which do I pick? Yeah.
We've got so many and they're all so good. How do we actually choose one? So that's a really good problem to have, mind you, and we're not shy
100%.
about that.
The
skills, and we have the ability that you can actually publish these testimonials to your website with a click of a button as well.
Okay, perfect.
So we've got widgets that'll literally drop into your website, copy paste code.
Nice.
And I helped a client last night in the UK with their WordPress website, how to add it in. It took us 2 minutes. So it's
I might actually get you to show me that after.
Incredibly easy to do.
Nice.
He wasn't looking for the right element. I saw it. We did it. Copy paste. Loaded his website again. There it is. Bang. It's live. So simple. And then publish a testimonial with a click of a button. It's all about choice. You get to choose what you publish. The skills development feature. Well, this is actually 50% of the reason why I built this product in this business. Looking at that opportunity to improve for every consultant in the business. There's always going to be a time where someone slips over a quarter period or a monthly period, whatever it might be, that they're not quite nailing something as well as what they were before. So based on qualitative and quantitative data elements, we identify those opportunities for improvement from the skills development perspective of a consultant and also that experience they're providing to the candidates and clients. So what it provides the agency is that real opportunity to remove the gut feel of, oh, what do we train everyone on this week? Everyone loves this session. We haven't done this session for a while. I remember this as a recruiter back in my day. There was always one or two sessions that we loved doing because we always had so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Training shouldn't be necessarily fun.
Yeah.
not that much fun, but looking forward to it anyway. You want to get learnings out of it, but this allows you to really target and refine who needs the help, what they need it on. So it's more micro. It's with less of the audience of your team. So instead of bringing all 15 of your consultants into the meeting room, boardroom, and training them on this one key thing, you bring 3 people in and saving 12 people the time and hassle because they're nailing this.
And that's what obviously this is very relevant to my market. We spoke about it earlier, but I feel that being able to specifically show where you need to improve and then not have a boardroom of 15 rookies all going through BD calls when, 5 of them are nailing it when they could be working on something else. And I feel that skill breakdown, every other profession, every sport does it. I think this will be a really, really exciting thing moving forward for my specific candidates.
It's a sport, right? This is recruitment is a sport, and you're right. Training with elite teams or what have you. This particular player needs training of handballing on the right hand side of their body, or they need training on identifying a gap in the field that they need to be running through at that point in time. So it's very targeted.
Yeah.
And that allows you to save time, resources, and focus on the things that are actually needed, not what you actually think they might need. And this is based on the best feedback you can possibly have. Customers. Candidates and clients are actually telling you, based on volume of feedback, they could do this a little bit better. How can you argue with that? The My Clients feature here is, look, this is probably the most powerful feature on the platform.
This is one that I've been really, really liking. And there's been a few scores of mine that aren't, 90 out instead of 100, Justin. But it's really, really good. Yeah. Because it's things that I wouldn't have thought of that you can see, but as well how you're prepping the candidates. But I'll let you run through it because you know it much better than I do.
Yeah, so this is one of the unique elements of the platform and what I feel is the most powerful viewpoint of the data. We can have a look at aggregated data up across the business, but what we're doing here is actually looking at the feedback coming in aligned to each one of your clients that you're recruiting for, and being able to dig in and have a look how you're representing each client at every stage of the process. So if I was to have a look at Audi AG here, for example, it actually breaks down for me the stages of the process where feedback is collected from the roles we've been recruiting for this particular client, and shows me how we've been pitching the jobs to candidates based on candidate feedback, how we're preparing candidates for those interviews with this client, but importantly, how those hiring managers are performing in those interviews as well. So rather than just having that phone call after that interview with the candidate, we're actually asking some very specific questions at that point in time as well, which gives insights into the hiring manager's performance. And you can dig deeper into this and actually start to have a look at the specific jobs and the hiring process of a specific role and where something may have gone wrong. So our clients are using this data in the most amazing ways, and we've been researching a lot of this and talking to a lot of them over the last week and a half. So one in particular identified with one of their clients that they weren't quite describing the culture of the organization and how the candidate would fit in when they're interviewing with the client then directly. So they actually shared this information with the client. The client was kind of gobsmacked, and in a really good way. Right? We had no idea we weren't doing that well enough. So they've actually changed their approach to this. They're seeing improvement in scores and improvement in conversion.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the candidate then can buy into the experience at the same time. They're not sitting there going, I don't know whether I could work here or not, because I don't know anything about it. So that level of insight is quite a unique aspect that our clients have the opportunity to provide. And actually, I was having this conversation with someone else this morning, just before we jumped on. You can actually then consult to your client.
Yeah, definitely.
You have data to back up what you may already feel. The evidence is far more valuable.
Definitely. That's my favorite feature of it, especially having because I send candidates to a few different roles, being able to see where people are doing it. And like you said, culture's always a big one, but people leave out specific things. And especially when you're sending one candidate to a few different roles, it's going to be a really good kind of indicator across the market.
Right? So we've got a client, and here's a world exclusive for you as well, John.
Oh,
next week, I'm doing a video recording with one of our other clients based on this feature and the impact they're having by using this in new business pitches.
I've sent this to, hopefully they're not all they can watch, but I actually screenshot the scores sometimes and send it to hiring managers if they've done something really, really well. If they get 100 as almost, hurry up and put the offer letter out if they're taking a bit of time.
They loved us, let's get them in.
That's it. Managers want to know if the candidate's bought into the role, especially in my market. So it just kind of shows that. And then I've also sent it as proof because it's not the one candidate saying it. I'm like, here's a few different scores. You need to kind of show this, which is a hard thing to do to managers, but then it kind of removes myself or whoever's doing it from that position.
Feedback. It's the person who was there.
Yeah, it's not my opinion.
Yep. So they're using this, and we'll do this video recording next week.
Nice.
Happy to share with you, so you can share with your clients.
Yeah.
The impact it's having on new business pitches. They're showing you pretty much the same screens I'm showing you today. I helped them with this just over a week ago and kind of guided them through. This is where you're going to get the most impact.
Nice.
But what it's allowing them to do is actually validate to their prospect, here's how we maintain quality.
Nice.
Here's how we're held accountable. Here's what we provide you with to back up our claim and our pitch to you that we provide a great service. We can provide full transparency around how we represent you in market for each job, and also how you perform during the hiring process as well.
Wow, okay.
The feedback I've had from the client, we've had a couple of chats about this. I'm going to do a video recording next week. It's converting brilliantly.
I can imagine.
So stay tuned for that.
Especially when, companies are handing out the same role to 3 or 4 agencies, being able to, get that transparency and show them each step how they're performing would be an upsell to a lot of companies.
If you work with us exclusively, we can give you this.
Nice.
We can't.
Amazing.
So that's how I'd be pitching it. Other key feature that I'd like to focus on is really that then hiring manager feedback. So when you place a job, we ask some very specific questions that gives you that insight to that particular client and what they thought of the process as a whole. So you know what to focus on next time with a particular hiring manager that you might not have nailed something 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
It might be not providing enough market intelligence, or you didn't support their onboarding process well enough, or reference checks weren't quite detailed enough, or whatever it might be. So you know what next time to just start to focus on straight away from the outset. But also a great opportunity when you get 100 across the board to thank them.
Yeah.
We're always looking for another excuse to call our clients. What better reason than they've provided you a great review and potentially a testimonial? Pick up the phone and thank them. But importantly, use that to get into the rest of the business.
And that's a very happy conversation.
So you've got evidence that you provided a great service. Hey, because I did such a great job, I'm going to be cheeky.
Yeah.
Is there someone else you think I should be talking to in your business that also might benefit from what we just provided you? You've got the evidence. You don't have to be shy about it. I said to a client the other week that why don't you even just screen grab that result, and a hiring manager who you're trying to get to somewhere else in the business, send it to them.
Or even a potential, or get a referral from that manager going, look, I've probably worked in different businesses. Is there anyone that I could, provide this same service that you've worked with in the past?
Interesting you say that. We actually automate that on the platform for you as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. There you go. Hello.
So when a client leaves a testimonial, we also ask them to leave a referral as well.
That's right, yeah.
So that is automated. That does exist. To be fair, and full transparency, which we always provide here, not many of them do it.
Yeah, I don't think. I feel a lot if you did the 100 and then call, and that's kind of why we can't automate everything in recruitment, because you still need to have that personal touch. A cheeky conversation you've had, you're like, look, I know you didn't leave it, but is there anyone that, you don't have to email? I can email and say that I did this for you.
Can I reference the review you gave me? Share that screenshot review and send it to them as supporting evidence. So there's nothing more powerful than that review testimonial piece that you've got. You've got the evidence. You've got numerous data points as well that they can see you nailed all these different things.
Yeah.
I gave someone 5 stars.
Yeah.
You delivered right throughout the process on 15 different metrics.
I really like that. And recruitment definitely. Yeah.
The last one is probably, this is a very unique feature, and this is why
I was hoping he'd show this. Yeah.
It's why we're such a different platform to everything else out there in the market, is we are very recruitment specific. So I was looking at some data last September, October, and noticing that when candidates were accepting jobs, they're actually scoring a question we ask at that stage around salary and benefits and their expectations for being met quite poorly.
Okay, nice.
And given my experience in recruitment and just some common sense, if you're accepting a job and you're not happy with the salary even before you start, what are the chances you're going to keep looking?
Yeah.
When something lands in your email the following day or 4 or 5 days later that is a similar role that's more salary, or another offer comes forward that pays you an extra 5K or whatever it might be, what are the chances you're going to accept that one and decline the one you just did?
Definitely.
So this is a flag, a notification that we provide the agency when that is scored poorly, that they can actually look at this from a different perspective and go, this is a potential risk, a potential flight risk, and something we need to go start managing and having that conversation with the candidate straight away on.
Yeah.
So you obviously don't approach it directly. Oh, look, you're not happy with the salary. You need to be a little bit more subtle than that, of course. This has identified quite a number of these, actually. We only launched this in November. So this has identified quite a number where the agency's been able to jump on. One of the most hilarious examples I've seen was a candidate got offered a car, or no, I think it was a car. No, sorry, he got offered a car allowance. He got offered a car allowance.
Yeah, that one. That used to get me in tech recruitment, bloody Toyota. Yeah.
He wanted a car allowance, not a car. So it was just a difference between that. And he didn't tell the agency, he didn't tell the employer, but he told us.
Yeah.
Because there was no fear for him. It was just, he could do that. So it is interesting. So it gives you that insight. Not every single one of them is going to be a potential flight risk. You may know already that someone has had to accept the role 10, 15K below their previous job because they might just need one because of the world we live in at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's a nice indicator to give you that heads up rather than get that big surprise that you don't want a few weeks down the track. So they're the key things I'd like to wanted to show.
Right, amazing. Really in depth there. Cool. We won't. Yeah, nice. Thank you for doing that. Back. So, what kind of sets you apart from? I know you kind of don't have competitors, but what sets you across from other similar products that may take testimonials or provide data points or NPS or anything like that? That makes. And I know a lot of my clients who use you and love you. So, why do you think that is?
Look, it comes back to one core thing at the end of the day is our specific focus and approach and the methodology we have of only looking at this from a recruitment perspective.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned their NPS. And if you noticed on the dashboard.
I did. That's what I'm just like, Justin, is that an NPS thing there? What's going on?
There is an NPS dashboard there and it's not live.
Yeah.
It's in our testing environment at the moment. Look, we have collected NPS from day one.
Yeah.
Just to give everyone a bit of a background on this, I'm not the world's massivest fan. That's not a word, but it is
putting it lightly as well.
It is putting it very lightly of NPS. But there's a real reason for this. It's not for the fact that I just don't like it. I don't like it, but I actually, that 16 months I spent researching the market, what I uncovered was how very useless NPS actually is in reality.
Yeah.
So when you're asking, here's an analogy for you. When you interview someone, John, how many questions do you ask them during that interview?
Yeah, a heap.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're asking for someone for feedback, what's the best type of question to be asking?
Direct, in-depth ones where they can
open
give a
question.
Clear and concise answer. Yeah.
An open question.
But not just one open question. I feel kind of when I ask questions about it, and maybe it's market specific, but if you ask kind of just one general open question, you're going to get responses that you don't want. Whereas if they're kind of tailored and direct to a point, you get a better understanding of what's going on.
So NPS falls down with the fact that you're asking for feedback and it's a closed question.
Yeah.
Would you recommend? Now,
gotcha,
a score, which is great. So you've got some metric there, but what it doesn't do is give you a why.
Yeah.
Why does someone give you a score of 10 versus a 2 or a 5 or a 7? There's no insight into that. And what it ends up measuring is not intent, because they're not doing anything, not behavior, but just would they?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Well, now what?
Yeah.
So when we looked at this, how we approached this and how we kind of circumvented NPS is instead of asking someone, which at the placement stage, we asked the NPS question, not would you recommend, hey, recommend someone. Yeah. We actually asked them we asked for candidate referrals. So that's another feature of the platform, which we didn't run through because it's through the process. But we actually ask the candidate to provide a referral. Rather than would you recommend someone, we actually ask them to recommend someone.
Yeah. Very powerful.
So there's that massive flaw with NPS. So the reason that, yes, we have such a greater impact than other tools in market with the agencies that we work with is that specific nature of focusing on recruitment elements. The flight risk feature, great example.
Yeah.
NPS isn't going to identify for you a flight risk.
Yeah, it's not going to show the managers.
Everything we build is focused around how you use this from a recruitment perspective. How's this going to impact the process for the candidate, the client, the agency, the consultant, every single time?
Yeah, amazing. I really like that. In terms of your ideal customers, so people who are watching this who might not use you yet, what kind? What are you doing? What kind of agencies do you suit?
Look, really, really good question because our premise hasn't changed from day one. I was very very steadfast in the approach and how we build the platform, that whether you're a one-man band, such as yourself even, or you're a Robert Walters or a Madison or a Sharp and Carter or Design and Build, who we all work with, it doesn't matter whether you're a one-man band or a larger agency, you're going to get the same value.
Yeah.
So because we focus on the individual consultant and not representing the agency from that review perspective.
Very true.
And drilling down into a consultant going, here's where this person needs help versus here's where this person needs help. Whether you're one person or 150, doesn't matter.
It works the same. Right.
All features will still function the exact same way. Now, obviously, the exponential value that a 100-person agency gets than a one is, multiple times. But when you look at that individual, the value of the data is still the same.
So it works for a consultant and for a company.
Correct. So an agency of a larger size gets to roll it all up.
Of course, More data.
Exactly. So they can have some greater impact in many respects, but also the one-man band. And I reckon we've got at least double-digit one-man bands on the platform. And we get the same feedback. Same big feedback from them all.
Yeah. Nice. Amazing. Look, we've probably gone way longer because we're both very talkative. But Justin, why does all this matter?
Oh, why does all this matter? Well, as I alluded to at the start, the candidate's the most important person in the process.
Nice.
You can't improve the candidate experience if you don't measure it properly. And what feedback is about, it's not about vanity. It's not about, saying how good you are at what you do. It's actually about identifying areas to improve.
Nice.
It's kind of contradicts, it's counterintuitive, to go out to market having asked people that you've placed whether you're any good or not, and ignoring the 95% of other people that you engage with.
Yeah.
You're going to improve your business from that perspective.
It definitely did improve my business in terms of candidates that I didn't place, finding things, and then especially when candidates interviewed, if I hadn't prepped them for that specific company, and my data's all over the place, but with business picking up, it definitely has allowed me to see more candidates, streamline the process, improve little areas that then help me kind of place more people, which at the end of the day is good.
Yeah, look, it's what someone asked me just it was a week or a week and a half ago. If I was to drill down on what we provide, it's the opportunity to improve your business.
Yeah, nice.
And it's improving it from multiple facets, improving the candidate experience, the consultant skills, the client relationship, the insights you can provide, your proposition to market, your bottom line revenue, which we have direct impact on that as well. We've got multiple case studies on that, and agencies who are getting like 3, 5, 2,700% returns on investment.
I think we can probably mention they've both pointed out, but sustainability, I saw that kind of come around. And when you can actually show the return on investment, it's for a product. It makes all the difference for the people who are buying it.
Yeah, so it's about improvement. This is why this matters. It's about improvement.
Yeah.
That's what feedback is about. So we help you improve your business, plain and simple.
Nice. Love that. Awesome. Mate, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.